So Universal made a movie called Renfield, which is Nicolas Cage as Dracula and Nicholas Hoult as Renfield. This movie is a horror comedy that is a very entertaining and enjoyable movie. I actually had a blast actually watching this movie, and this movie is only an hour and 33 minutes. And it's very interesting because if you're not really a big fan of Nicolas Cage, then you're most likely are not going to probably like Nicolas Cage because this is at Nicolas Cage level when he plays Dracula. And this man was enjoying his role as playing as Dracula because he stated that he wanted to play Dracula. And there he has this opportunity. And this man was loving every minute of it because this man was stealing the scenes on every time when he is on like the screen because this man, he knows how to play Dracula in a funny way, but also to make sure how much convincing Dracula is this very narcissist, controlling, but charming, and also to a way that how he actually makes his victim, which is Renfield, be like, yeah, it's your fault. I'm the victim. It's your fault. In actuality, it's actually Dracula's fault. Dracula is the actual villain, and Renfield is the actual villain. Which Nicholas Hoult did a fantastic job as Renfield, and he did a very convincing job as making you feel sorry for him because he is stuck in this toxic relationship that he's been on for 90 years and he's trying to get out of it. He's trying to have his life back. And every time that he's trying to have his life back, it's like Dracula just slowly, just continuously just keep bringing him in his control and Renfield continuously falling for it. And you can just see that this is a eternal battle. And you can see that once Renfield is done with Dracula's manipulation, his controlling, his narcissist, it's a great balance because you can just tell that even though Renfield is afraid of Dracula, he is not stepping down. And he's learning throughout the whole movie to actually stand up for himself, which is actually fantastic. And how, Nicholas Hoult, how he's able to do it in a comedic way and the comedic timing is just perfect. But also as well, to understand Renfield because he is just a normal human, but he has some kind of like Dracula's power thanks to Dracula was able to give him. But also he gets his powers from eating bugs. So every time when you see Renfield fighting, because there is some action scenes where Nicholas Hoult is actually doing some combat, he has to have a bug so that way it kind of like gives him that actual power, which is very interesting in this movie because they use a lot of CGI blood. And that's something that was kind of a turnoff because, yes, you want to go as cheap as possible with the movie, but as bloody as this movie is, because this movie is bloody and gory, and certain scenes where you just see how Nicholas Hoult is just killing people, or you see how Dracula is just killing people, it was just like to the point where it's just like, yeah, you guys kind of need to be like a bloody mess because all of this blood and you guys have none of it. You guys are like squeaky clean is just 100% ridiculous. And that was kind of like one of the complaints or the negative that you can say about this movie. Another negative about this movie is that it feels like it's like two movies like trapped in together and that they're trying to make, because you have one movie that's focused on Dracula and Renfield and their relationship and how Renfield is trying to like get out of it. But then you also have another side of the movie where it's Aquafina's character and how she's this traffic cop who's trying to get justice and revenge of her father's death thanks to the mafia, and how she's trying to put the mafia down. And that was just kind of like one of like the weakest aspect of the movie was just the whole cop scene, because it feels like they didn't really do as much, and it just kind of feels like they just probably added two ideas together to just make one movie. But Aquafina's performance really did a good job. I really did enjoy her role as the police officer, the cop who's trying to take down the mafia, and she was very funny. And it was honestly too, I did feel like her relationship with Renfield kind of just went flat because they try to make them be like a love interest in some kind of thing, but it just didn't go anywhere. Like anything that Aquafina did in this movie, like when it built to like the relationship or kind of like the purpose of it, it really didn't go anywhere. But she really did kick ass in this movie, which I really did actually did like. But it just felt like it just didn't go anywhere. Like her character was just like on the tipping toes of like certain subjects that the movie like wants to explore, but it just doesn't really go anywhere. And it just kind of just feels kind of like lame. But overall, like the movie heavily focused on Dracula and Renfield, and you just see the level of extreme how much Renfield he is just trying to just get out of Dracula's control, and you can just see how Dracula will go to the extreme once he realized that Renfield is not going to do what he wants to do. And I do like the jokes. Some of the jokes actually did land, and it was kind of like very, very funny how like Dracula, he says he wanted a bus full of cheerleaders, he wanted happy couples and nuns, and then the next scene you see Renfield at the restaurants, and then guess where you see the bus full of cheerleaders, happy couples, nuns, and it was just very funny. I laughed out loud. But yeah, no, the comedy style between Renfield and Dracula was perfect, and the dynamic worked well together because, of course, you have someone who was very, very dominant, and then you have someone who's very, very submissive, and it just blended well. The coloring, the lighting of this movie actually did very well. I actually love like how the colors was and the tone and everything else. It made the movie feel like how it feels, and the location that the movies is in, because apparently they're in New Orleans. They're at New Orleans, so that's where the movie or the location where it's take place of the event of the movie. So with the colors, the neon, and everything else, it just blended well. And also too, when we see Renfield is at like this meeting for like people who's trying to not be codependent on their actual like abusers or narcissists or anything else, they don't show them one time. They show them a bunch of times throughout the whole movie, and they're actually very funny. They're actually kind of just like very, very funny and very enjoyable. And it's not just a one-time gag, it's like multiple gags, but it's not a gag like where you're just kind of just like, oh my gosh. It's kind of just really funny and it's entertaining. So like I really did like that. But other than that, like my negatives throughout this movie is the CGI blood and how no one is not really bloody, and also to the whole scenes with the whole cop situation with taking down the mafia. That one was pretty weak. But also to like Ben Shorts, I know he was trying to like do his acting bit, and but he was doing like way over the top, and he just came very, very annoying. But other than that, like I do will say, if you guys do watch this movie, you guys will enjoy it. If you guys don't, then you know that's okay. If you guys decide to watch it in stream or you see it on TV, that's fine too. This is a movie where you can just pop it on TV, or you can pop it on to have like background noises. There's some scenes like I said that you guys can watch and kind of just enjoy. But other than that, I give this movie a 7 out of 10. I really did like it. It was pretty funny, and you guys should check it out. But other than that, let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about this movie and what you guys thought and everything else. And if you guys do like the video, please give it a like, subscribe, and remember, always be decent. This is Mr. Monotone. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and be safe out here. Peace.